Names you know, Johar Tsarnev and Tamerlen Tsarnev, two young Chechen-born brothers, raised in the United States, radicalized through the internet, and responsible for the deadly Boston bombing attack. That's the story the media has told you. But what about the story they have all but ignored, about another Chechen with a lesser-known name? Who is Ibragim Todashev? Why was he killed by the FBI during an interrogation over the Tsarnev brothers? Today, you'll hear from the widow of that man and the questions she is still waiting to have answered. The first step toward truth is to be informed. As I said, it is a name that most Americans don't know at all. Ibragim Todashev, a 34-year-old Chechen living in Orlando, Florida, a friend of the Boston bombing suspect Tamerlen Tsarnev. Here's the story. On May 22nd of 2013, FBI and Massachusetts State Police officers showed up in Orlando, Florida to interview Todashev. Now, before moving to Orlando, Todashev lived in Massachusetts. He was a mixed martial arts fighter, and through that sport became friends with Boston bombing suspect Tamerlen Tsarnev. That is why, only weeks after the bombings, the FBI went to meet with Todashev. But it was during that interrogation when something went terribly wrong. According to a statement released by the FBI, the agent, two Massachusetts State Police troopers, and other law enforcement personnel were interviewing an individual in connection with the Boston Marathon bombing investigation, when a violent confrontation was initiated by the individual. During the confrontation, the individual was killed, and the agent sustained non-life-threatening injuries. So what violent confrontation took place? Well, media reports were all over the place on what happened. The New York Times claimed that Todashev pulled a knife on the agent. Other media claimed it was a samurai sword. Then it was a metal pole. Some said it was a broomstick. That is, until the Washington Post was told by an unnamed law enforcement source that Todashev had neither a knife or a gun, that he was completely unarmed, but that he did lunge at the agent. Well, who saw this happen? That's another important question, because according to the FBI, who was doing an internal investigation, immediately prior to the killing, after hours of interrogation, all the other interrogators withdrew and left the room, leaving the FBI agent who fired the shots alone with Todashev. Well, that agent claims that Todashev was about to sign a confession to his involvement, along with Tamerlen Tsarnev, in an unsolved triple murder in Massachusetts. And it was just before he was going to sign that confession that he attacked. The widow of Todashev spoke to me via Skype. What do you make of the claim that all the agents left and only one agent, the agent who killed Ibragim, remained in the room with him?
We still don't know what exactly happened, how many were in there when he was shot. It's still covered. They're not telling us anything. So far, we know it was 3 of them when they start a conversation with him. And who was in there in the room at the time when he was killed, we don't know.
Now, aside from the very strange details surrounding an FBI agent left alone with a suspect who then must defend himself and kill that suspect, are these details. The agent who shot and killed Todashev reportedly shot him 7 times, including in the head and the chest. I say reportedly because on July 8th, the autopsy report on Ibragim Todashev was finalized. It was ready for release. According to the Orlando Medical Examiner's Office Forensic Records Coordinator, quote, "The FBI has informed this office that the case is still under investigation and not to release this document." All of which is not only unusual, but the entire investigation so far has been surrounded by secrecy. Another issue that the FBI has not even addressed is that while the claim was that Todashev attempted to attack that agent, friends and his wife claimed that Todashev was recovering from knee surgery. You say that Ibragim was recovering from that knee surgery, so what was the injury and how bad was that knee?
He had done his surgery in the middle of the March. In a month and a half, he was on the crutches. And after he got off from the crutches, he was still limping, he was still in pain, and every time you just a light touch to his knee, he would feel the pain. He couldn't bend his knee, he was still walking and limping on the knee.
So is it true that he was on crutches at the time that he was killed?
Not necessary, but he would use it sometimes when he really feel the pain. He would just get the crunch and go on the crunches, but not all the time.
Obviously, it's speculation on your part, but why do you believe that Ibragim was killed?
He got 7 shots, and one of them was back in the head. And to me, this is a clearly execution.
How do you know that one was? How do you know one was to the back of the head?
How do I know?
Yes.
Because I saw the body. They gave the body to me.
How do you know it was an entry wound and not an exit wound for a bullet?
I can't tell. I'm not a professional, but from what I see, that's what the doctor and the medical examiner in Orlando, that's what he said. He said he got 7 shots, 1 in the back of the head.
The medical examiner told you?
Yes, they have told me from the day one when I came to sign for his body that I'm taking it. That's what they say.
So they're telling you he was shot in the back of the head. That's incredible.
He said he got seven bullets, 1 in the head, 3 in the heart, 1 in the liver, and I believe 1 was in somewhere in the shoulder and arm.
The medical examiner in Orlando, has he released his report, or is it being blocked by the FBI?
It was blocked by the FBI, and they still haven't released anything.
Thank you for talking to us. Well, what you need to know is that while the ACLU has requested an independent investigation in Florida and in Massachusetts, both those requests have been rejected by law enforcement, saying it would be inappropriate. Meanwhile, CARE in Florida is reporting that a friend of Todashev was arrested in September and was denied a lawyer for 6 days. That even though he repeatedly requested to speak with an attorney, the FBI agents allegedly responded, quote, "That is not happening," end quote. Well, CARE Florida Civil Rights Director Thanea Diaz-Clevenger said in a statement, quote, "It fits the pattern of abuse and troubling behavior by FBI agents beginning in the days prior to the killing of the unarmed Ibragim Todashev. One can only wonder if Mr. Todashev was denied his rights to legal counsel during the questioning that ultimately resulted in his death," end quote. Well, in addition, other Chechen friends of Todashev say they are being pressured by the FBI to spy on friends and neighbors. The story here that media just won't cover, the incredible secrecy surrounding this young man's death, the fact that he was killed so brutally during an interrogation, and to many people, it's not even a big deal because he might be connected to a terrorist. Well, now that you've been informed, it's time to get engaged. Go right now to benswann.com. There you're going to find the sources for this story as well as other Truth in Media episodes. And you can help us to create more of these episodes. All you have to do is click on the link on the right-hand side of the page to learn how you can support us, either through dollars or even through Bitcoin. Go right now, contribute, get informed, get engaged at benswann.com.